Welcome. The question is all about using AI to take a product to market. And we are joined by Maddy King from Launchbot, which is a really cool app. And Maddie's on screen waving. And so today's agenda will start with just a bit of a session overview, and then I'll introduce Maddy. And then Maddy will take over from there, and she will do a demo walkthrough for over a series of steps. It'll be quite free flowing, but it'll be great in the sense that you will pick up and be introduced to a number of new tools. And by all means, feel free to ask questions throughout the session. Maddy's on hand to answer anything, and I'll be able to help facilitate those questions as well at the right time, which will be great. And then at the end, we'll also stop for any Q&A, so Maddy can, any growth marketing, AI, Launchbot question you have, Maddy is here to answer your questions, and then I'll do a quick wrap up at the end. So Maddy's demo will all be about using AI to take a product to market. And when we talk about product to market, this is Maddy creating a web tool and then publishing it online. And then she will create an advert for it. And then she will show how she will push that advert live using the Launchbot app. Now, Maddy is a growth marketer at heart. She actually has over a decade of marketing experience. She's been running ads, content, SEO, and strategy to help startups grow, also social enterprises and small businesses. She's also a web developer and is using her expertise to build AI tools for marketers to make life easier. And that most recently is through her Launchbot app. And I actually met Maddy over a year ago now on a startup program. And I also know Maddy that Maddy is a mum. So she knows firsthand what it's like to do the juggle of family, big roles, and managing all of that. So she's using that experience and those insights as well to help leverage AI to make marketers' lives easier, but also mums' lives easier with all of those tools that we know can help us save precious hours so we can spend more time with kids and doing the stuff we love. So it's really great to have Maddy here. I also have experimented with Maddy's tool, the Launchbot app. Interestingly, when I was first setting up the Wellspirit platform, I was learning how to create a website. And then it was like, okay, I now need people to find my website. How on earth do I link it to Google? How are people going to find me? How am I going to get the SEO up and running? And to be honest, I was spending hours trying to do all of that. And now Maddy's tool just does that in a heartbeat. So it's really exciting that Maddy is here today to disseminate all of her knowledge, show us how to do some cool things, and also talk to her Launchbot app as well. So that's an intro to Maddy, and I'm going to hand over to Maddy now to take over from here.
What an intro. Thank you so much, Pip. Yeah, it's really cool to be here. It's really cool to have seen Philippa's product and ideas develop over the past year into this amazing community that you're all part of now. As Pip said, I've been a marketer for over 15 years now in the digital marketing space, starting in content and then getting nerdier and nerdier and nerdier, heading into data and analytics and then becoming a web developer. But I've only been a mum for 4 years, so I've got much less experience in that, and a lot of you will have heaps more experience than me there. But yeah, the double load of trying to bring in clients as a marketer and having a child had just absolutely demolished me. It was like, oh, it'll be great. I'll write blogs while the baby sleeps, and it's just so bad and so hard. So as soon as ChatGPT became mainstream, beginning of last year, was it only that long ago? I was like, great, this is going to be awesome. We're going to make our lives easier. And as a web developer, I thought that there was lots of opportunity there to automate some of the boring, repeatable stuff that I was doing as a marketer. So for me, I love data. I love the data analytics. I love figuring out strategy based on Google Analytics numbers, but it takes hours. And it's like digging in a huge mine for one tiny piece of gold that's hidden from you. Like, the tool is so bad, it's so hard to use, and they change it all the time. So I was like, right, that is something that I never want to do again. And there must be a way for AI to do that for me. And that's what Launchbot is. Um, I'll show you, I guess, and we can go through it. I haven't done much practice. I haven't like prepared the session, so it's pretty free flowing, and feel free to interrupt me at any point and ask me some questions. So this is my tool called Launchbot. What it's done is it's scanned my Google Analytics about my Launchbot website, and it's taken not the visitors, but the people who actually engage on the website, the people who spend time, who sign up and who buy, and it's built a profile of them that I can then use. So this is the profile, Amelia from Christchurch. It looks at their interests and things. If you're low traffic, if your website's low traffic, so Google Analytics can't deliver interest data, then it asks you to kind of type some stuff in and give the tool an idea of who your customers are. And then it builds this like kind of fun imaginative profile for you, which helps. I know a lot of you will have worked with business owners who think they understand their customer, but absolutely don't. The point of this is to help the business owner really visualize, really get a sense of who their customer is so that they can then market to them. So today I want to put this together and see if we can start to market a new product for my customers. So I'm just going to use Claude because it's my friend. So I'm going to ask Claude first to come up with 10 AI tools that I can build. Actually, just 10 tools, 10 web tools. In the area of marketing, AI, rebellion, and impact, that's my kind of target area, that solve problems for this customer. Impact founders like Amelia. And I'm going to give it her interests and also her demographics. So this is all pulled from my Google Analytics data, which is on the left. You can see the top cities that people come to my website from. And it's not just by numbers, it's by engagement. So it's the people that are actually engaging with the product, actually signing up, actually buying. So you could have thousands of people coming from, Mongolia who don't actually leave in a second. You could have bot traffic. And if you only targeted places where the most traffic came from, you'd waste all that marketing money. So this is looking at the most engaged users, and the profile is based on that. So let's see what Claude comes up with. So I've asked it to build 10 web tools I can create, to come up with ideas. I always get it to do the thinking first before I get it to do the building, targeting this exact customer. So it's got carbon footprint competitive analyzer. That's a good idea. Greenwashing detector, impact story generator, grant rebellion matcher, AI-powered impact ROI calculator, eco-influencer collaboration finder, policy change tracker, impact dashboard. I would love to build that, but that's hardcore. I'm going to go with, thinking about mums and marketing, I'm going to go with a school holiday. I just survived the school holidays, as many of you will. Event planner for busy parents. I want it to use live weather data. I want it to be based in New Zealand. What cities is everyone based in? Can you let me know, Nicole?
Christchurch.
Where else?
Auckland.
Anywhere else?
I think we're largely Christchurch and Auckland based.
Okay, I'm in Wellington, so we'll put that in too. And I want it to use relevant events for children. We want it to recommend relevant events for children based on the child's age. And I want it to be in vanilla, JavaScript, and HTML so I can put it on a Webflow site as a custom code component. Cool. So while it starts cooking that up, I will start building my page in Webflow. So this is, I'm sure lots of you use Webflow. This is going to be school holiday planner for mums in marketing. Now, to figure out how to describe it, we're instantly, because we're mums in marketing, we're instantly thinking about SEO. So Launchbot has an SEO keyword generator that thinks about the actual problems that target customer is having, those people that are engaging on your website, and the terms that they'll be searching for in Google. This is designed for both SEO and GEO. So lots of us know about SEO from the olden days of last year. But GEO, generative engine optimization, getting found in AI results, is a whole new area that sounds really scary, but honestly, it's pretty similar to SEO. There's lots of things around adding schema markup to your website to help AI read it, but I've run my own tests in that, and I think it's frankly not valid. I haven't seen any better results adding schema markup to a website. But also, AI is designed to read websites. You don't need to add code to your website to help AI read it. Its literal function is to read websites. So if your SEO is really, really on point so that AI reading it will know exactly who you're targeting, what problem it solves, and what your tool does, it should work for both markets. And I've found good results doing that. So we're seeing a lot of AI, sustainable. We've got the audience there, ethical businesses, nonprofits, social enterprises. So with those keywords in mind, I might do something like an AI-built event planner for marketers who want more time to grow their businesses, their sustainable businesses. Cool. Check back in on the tool. My child, oh, let's do me. My child is nearly 4. So it's made the design, and it's got some set events you can do, which is like useful. So my dad actually helps with looking after my daughter in the school holidays. She goes to kindy, so they do school holidays as well. So set places to go is useful for him, but I'd really like, why is it not working? I'd really like it to get current events. Is it possible? Cool. I will keep building my page while it does that. Does anyone here use Webflow with their clients or for their own business?
No, more of a bricks builder fan.
Ah, that's cool.
I'm using Wix.
Cool. So Wix and Webflow are not dissimilar, I don't think, but I just like Webflow because as a developer, I can do codey stuff. I think it works for people that think like developers, but it gets a little bit detailed and tricky and breakable for people that don't.
Exactly why I don't use it. I'm not developer wired, so well done you.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's a weird world. Okay, is it going to work? Maybe it'll work when it's live. I've got my website branding here, so I'll ask it to update the design to match my website and strictly follow these brand guidelines. I always say strictly because as soon as it detects that the audience is women, it makes it purple every single time. You can tell products that are made by AI because they're purple. So to do that. So it's rebuilding the whole thing in the colors that match my website. This is how I built this AI mitigation calculator. So this calculates your AI usage, turns it into carbon credits, and tells you how many trees to plant to offset that usage, which I really love. I use this all the time. So Launchbot uses about 60,000 GPT-4 credits, and then I do about 38 Claude 4 messages a month. So it calculates how many emissions that makes. I had to do heaps of calculations around what the carbon footprint of each AI model was, and then how many trees to plant. And then I just click there and it partners me with Trees That Count to plant those trees for me. So I've planted 6 native trees this year, which is really fun. And that tells you where it plants the tree, and these all got planted in Nelson right near my in-laws, which is really cool. So I can see the trees next time I go down.
So, Maddy, a quick question. So, obviously, we're seeing
Yes.
the code generate on the right-hand side, and we're using our natural language prompting on the left-hand side. Could you orchestrate exactly the same output without even looking at the code?
Yeah, it was
So
showing me
someone
the
like me who doesn't know code per se, whatever, could I get to exactly the same output just by prompting, and then when I'm happy with what I'm seeing, copy and paste onto the back end of the website?
Yeah, absolutely. So here, this is the front end view, and the code is kind of a hidden tab here that I was just looking at to see where it gets its data from. But this is cool. So it's changed the design now to match my website. So I will copy that code and check it on my website. Save and close. And Webflow takes a while to enable custom code, but basically this means you can build any tool and tell it to convert it into the custom code component of your website designer into Wix or whatever, and then push it live. So I'll publish that and we'll see what happens. The other thing that'll get the link up, I'll add some more sections for SEO, because that is, after all, the most important thing.
And I have a question. Step back 2 years. How long would this tool have taken you to create? 3 days.
Definitely weeks, possibly months, like definitely 3 weeks, maybe. You'd have to write all the code, you'd have to get it all working with the APIs, and then you'd have to do the design. I mean, you're supposed to do the design first, but then you'd have to get it looking good and on brand, and you'd have to get approval if you're working with a client every step of the way. Whereas this way, if this was for a client, I could be like, do you like how this looks? No? Okay, well, do you like how this looks? You can keep iterating as you go.
So definitely when like you're thinking you're a client, you've got an agency, then any tool like this, you should be like, okay, it should be like maximum half a day's work, given the fact that you'll need to take my brief, create it, show it to me, approve it, right? Like it's not anything more than that.
Yeah, you can
days.
use it as a brainstorming process now. Like you can be delivering full products as part of the brainstorming process just to get to the thing they want. And you're not web developers, you're not building products, but a lot of you will have ideas for side hustles and for tools that would help your community. And I know heaps of mums in marketing that are like, could I build this workflow, or could I build this system that would just speed things up so I have more time for the non-marketing stuff? Or the creative part is really fun for some people and they don't want to do the data part. So yeah, despite not being a developer, you can still build and execute your own tools that could start earning you money by the end of the week.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now I want it to write content and headings for the website SEO to get found by mums in New Zealand. Focus on the keywords. Can I copy this? So AI, sustainable, social enterprises, website marketing. So Launchbot tells you how you're currently ranking for these terms, what terms you are ranking for that are getting you clicks, and then how to optimize your whole website page by page to get found for the terms that your audience are actually searching for. And that's the same as doing this. Here's my website content as a basis, copy the voice, style, and tone.
It's great just to see how you're prompting an action, right? And the results on live. It's also it's great, learning for me as well.
There's a bit of delay. I've been starting to think a lot about how, each time you come back to the AI, in Claude, you can use projects, which are great. And in theory, it's learning from the context of that project. But it still feels like every time you come back, it's fresh and you have to kind of teach it again. And there's this idea of training data, and we're supposed to be training the AI, but actually it's training us to prompt better, right? It's training us to do different prompts. And I'm not sure how much it's actually learning. Okay. So now I have to keep shrinking this because the Zoom thing keeps popping up at the top. Blah, 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 blah. AI content, some headings, because AI and Google love headings. So I'm just getting it comfortable and set up for SEO because that's the key way people are going to find this. And SEO is so important now, not just for being found on search engines, but more importantly, I think, is being found in AI results. So my traffic from AI is increasing, like steadily increasing, like 5% a week. So by the end of next year, or the beginning of next year, sorry, I think that AI traffic will be the key, will be more sending more people to my website than organic search. So everything I'm doing right now is trying to get things ready for that point, because I want people who are typing into ChatGPT, like, what should I do this school holidays, to get pointed to Launchbot. Cool, so that should all be live. There it is. Obviously, I would improve the design quite a lot, but that is enough to work with and to start getting indexed. So I'll go to Google Search Console and submit a new sitemap. Most of the website builders like Webflow have an automatic sitemap generator that live updates when you add new pages. but you need to resubmit it so that it indexes your new page within the next couple of hours. So that'll be up on Google by tomorrow if I post a link. So now I'm going to use Launchbot's post generator to come up with a post and do a link. So now this is a school holiday events planner for mums in marketing in New Zealand who want the holidays to be planned so they can focus on growing their business. And again, I'm using those keywords wherever I can. And I'll check it on LinkedIn. So what it does is it goes and it looks at your actual website. It scans all the content on your website and makes a profile of your tone of voice of the content that you create on your website, how you talk about your products, what your products are, and who you're targeting your content at. It matches that with the persona that was in growth strategy, that Amelia, who is a representation of the people that engage most with your website. And it puts those two together and it creates content in your tone of voice specifically to target that most engaged type of customer so that you can get more and more people who are in that demographic. So ever feel like you're juggling too much at once? Yes. Time with your children, power of AI, sleek, value-driven plan. Sounds genius, right? Punchy AI stuff. So I can check that straight on LinkedIn, get the mumpreneurs. It also generates an image. That's actually pretty good. Since the algorithm update, content where a human is speaking directly to camera is working really well. So if I was doing this legitimately, I would probably replace that image with a video of me talking because the algorithm is obviously moving to try and kill AI slot, like those weird AI videos. So human stuff that's a bit flawed is actually working really well at the moment. But just to do this quickly in the time we've got available.
Eddie, whilst you do that, I have a question from Nicole, and she's asking around GEO. She doesn't know much about it. Did you optimize for GEO at the same time as SEO, or you don't think we need to do much different for GEO from what we do for SEO anyway?
Yeah, great question. So the way that Launchbot gives me the keywords and the instructions is designed for both at once. Most of the content that comes to me from AI results is from the Google bit at the top. So that's an AI result. It's actually tracked as organic content though. But I also come up in, Launchbot also comes up in chats when people are chatting to ChatGPT and stuff. So the same principles of SEO, like really clear headings, really content with lots of keywords embedded, alt tagging your images, they all work for both. And as time goes on, I think the AI is already really good at scanning websites for who your target audience is and what you sell. It'll just continue getting better at that. So for me, the way I do it, which works, is it's a really similar approach, GEO and SEO. It's like SEO, but a lot more careful, thinking really clearly about like, does this exactly say who the audience is on every page and sometimes in every paragraph, who this is for, and what it's selling and how it solves their problem. So yeah, short answer is the approaches are really, really, really similar. There's some extra stuff you can do for GEO, like adding a schema into the code, but my experiments haven't found it to have any impact at all. LinkedIn is indexed by Google and search engines really rapidly. So that link back to the website, to this page, will be indexed within the next couple of hours because of that search map. And you'll be able to find Mums in Marketing, School Holiday Event Planner on Google pretty shortly. Reddit is no longer indexed by AI, but it is indexed by search engines. Reddit used to be another place I just dropped links to get those backlinks back to my website, but it's not good for generative engines anymore. They've blocked them, but it is good for search engines. But wherever your audience are, which Launchbot tells you, is where you should be posting those links to get those backlinks. Cool. And then we can generate another post for Facebook in the next 10 minutes. Yes, just making sure I've ticked all my boxes. Yep. So the key is that the algorithms are moving so fast, right? And they update all the time. And the Facebook marketing of 10 years ago was like, use these hacks and you'll go viral. But now it's like we can't out-hack it on our own. We need AI tools like Launchbot to be kind of outsmarting it for us. So Launchbot is developing its own algorithms in response to how the algorithms change. Cool. So it's made me a Facebook ad. I've just relaunched this ads manager 2 days ago. So it's brand new, and I need lots of people to try it. So if this is of interest to anyone, please check it out. So it's taken those features of the most engaged people on my website, and it's building a targeting profile for my meta ads based on those features. So it's got their age, gender, and location, and now it's turning the interests from that paragraph into actual meta targeting interests to try and engage people in Christchurch in that age range who are matching the style of customer of that person that's most engaged on my website. Cool. It's getting the audience size to around 180,000. That's just from my extensive experience in meta ads, is what works. I'm going to run it for 1 day. I'll spend $100. Everything else is auto set to what I found is the best results. And then it's taken that text that it developed and put it there. It's taken that image that it created and put it there. That hasn't worked. That hasn't worked, so I'll grab an image from here. So it likes images that are already on the web. Then it can just chuck them here. Then it can just reference them. And it runs it from your Facebook page account. It creates school holiday plans and marketing. Use this. So yeah, it creates the ad in a paused state, and then you go into your meta ad manager to turn it on. So you or your client is still in control of the full budget. We don't touch any of that. But it creates it for you in Meta Ad Manager, and then you turn it on yourself. You have this problem where, because you're a marketing person, you have about 100 campaigns. Turn it on, check it live, and that goes out. Then down here, it looks at all the Launchbot campaigns, ad campaigns that you have set up and pushed out. You select your industry, and then it does a comparison to check out your results. So because the targeting is so detailed to the people that most engage with your website, the people that are most likely to become your customers, the cost per click goes all the way down, because you're targeting people that actually want to buy your product or engage with your movement, not just people that like clicking on ads and then leaving, which is what most generic meta ads get you. So it's brought in the cost per click at way below the industry average for business services, and saved me $250. So that's the gist of Launchbot, and that product is now live, and there's an ad running for it. There's a LinkedIn post that's out in the wilderness confusing my audience, and it'll be indexed on Google in the next couple of hours. So if I had, if I was charging $5 for the school holiday planner, I could start getting customers by tomorrow. And that's how I do it. Did that make sense? That was so fast.
Thanks, Maddy. No, it was great. I mean, it's just amazing the fact that you can, demonstrate creating a product from scratch, putting it online and publishing it for everyone to see, link it up to Google search, have it optimized for search, chat about it on LinkedIn and Facebook, and then use what you've got to generate some ads off the back of it. On the space of, how long have we been here for? Like 15 minutes. So yeah, it's phenomenal, right? And that's what I think really makes you kind of appreciate and understand that it's almost a marketer's prerogative now to really understand the AI tools that are out there and to start to be using them to be able to orchestrate things at the speed, because that's what's going to really get you ahead versus, your other peers who are still using, the ways we used to do marketing 1 to 2 years ago. So yeah, incredible. So thank you. An amazing tool that you've developed as well.
You've all been learning really amazing skills around agentic AI and things from Pip. I know you're doing incredible stuff, but this was just Claude and Launchbot. Like this was the most basic low level you could possibly use. It's just thinking creatively about how to use them in the right way. And for me, that's driving everything from data, from your analytics about who your customers actually are and how to get more of them, which Launchbot does for you. But you can use Claude in the same way to, yeah, help you. As long as it's based on data, it can generate useful strategy. If you just say, make me a strategy, it'll just give you waffly bullshit. But if you use data as the basis, these tools can be so helpful at the most basic user-friendly level, which is so nice. Such a better future where tools are going to be easy to use for marketers instead of the harrowing nightmare that is GA4 and SEMrush. Oh,
Can I ask a question if it's okay, Maddie,
absolutely.
given your background, fellow data nerd, former performance marketer, so couldn't code but know the value of data. Do you might be close to the ground to this. How far away do you think Google are from ripping apart GA4 and completely transforming that dashboard? Because no one gets it. Not the specialists get it, but in terms of how it's changed, I don't know. I just feel like AI's got to have some better version for that coming like within a year, surely, but I'm
So
not close
they've got
enough.
their own AI inside Google Analytics now that you can ask
Yeah,
questions about your data. This GA4 is their full renewal. It was GA Universal was
yeah,
deprecated only in July last year.
yeah.
I don't have the answer, but what I think, because I think about this a lot, is that marketers aren't Google's audience. They don't give a shit about us, which is why the product is so bad to use.
Yep.
There's people using BigQuery. There's massive organizations doing massive data. Those people pay, and their platforms are probably really beautiful and good looking. It's not marketers that Google Analytics exists for. It's to suck all data from business websites that Google can then use to develop its campaigns. So I don't think it's worth Google's while to make GA4 easy for us because we're not Google's target market. And even though they've added AI into GA4, it'll be like
It's pretty shit.
your most engaged users spend 34 seconds on your site, full stop. Like
Yeah.
that's not what I need to know. What I need to know is what to do with that information, like how to, okay, so this page is doing really well, but I'm losing people on this page. Put a button 3/4 of the way down this page, delete, like I need that strategy as well as the data. And that's what I'm building Launchbot for, is to not just give you generic numbers, but to actually tell you what to do with it in terms of actions. And it's actions you can do in 3 or 4 minutes to increase your rank on Google. But if you don't have the expertise to turn data into action, it's just a number. It's just 34 seconds. And Google, just as a product development company, just doesn't seem to get that part. It just gives you the data and then it's up to you what you do with it. So yeah, I'm not sure. If they do, I'd be really happy because it will make our lives easier. But I don't think they will.
Your explanation explains why they haven't to date, right? It's been a long time. And I would have
Yeah.
the shift from Universal to GA4, which no one handled well internationally, it looks like. They
Well, they
would
made it
have.
worse. They made it harder to use, not easier.
Sorry, thank you, Pip. I'm
Of
geeking out
course.
here.
Like X.
Of course. Just one observation I wanted to share is I don't know if Maddie, you can go back to your original Claude screen and the very first prompt that you created. Is it too tricky? So I just wanted to talk to that.
I
That's
didn't
okay.
actually test if the tool is working.
Yeah, you might have to juggle a few things around to get that screen back up.
There you go.
Yeah, if you can go back to your original prompt, and this will be I guess, at the very, very top. Is it this, or maybe it was the second prompt. But I just thought it was interesting because you kind of nodded to what you wanted it to do, which was I think you wanted a code or you wanted specific like vanilla, I can't really got my glasses on, HTML, etc. But I think what's really important is that even as marketeers, we're not Maddies and we don't know exactly what we want the prompt to do. We can always ask Claude for it, if that makes sense. So it's like, I want to create a tool. Help me write the prompt to create that, if that makes sense. So even if
Yeah.
we don't know what to prompt, we can always ask for help to write the prompt. And I think that's the biggest takeaway for everything that we do.
Yeah.
We don't need
That's
to know the answers or know what to prompt. We can always ask for help to prompt.
Yeah, and that's incredibly strategic. But this, yeah, I'm a nerd, so I put it that way. But it could just as easily be, I want it to work on a Webflow site.
Yeah.
And then it has to make it work.
Yeah. Or ask for recommendations for tools if it's not a Webflow site, or, give it
Yeah.
the information of your existing site. How do I add it in? Give me the instructions. Can I do it myself? Does it need to be an agency? You know what I mean? Like, so all those things, like AI is just so exceptionally helpful with.
Yeah, and if you're not a developer but you want to build a tool, you start by saying, how would I build this? What would what would it look like? How would I get this data? Is it possible? And then it builds it for you. But that's things like APIs are where you get the data from. So you're asking it if you're able to get that sort of data publicly from a Webflow site. But yeah, you just ask it really clear instructions and get it to design it and be happy with the plan it has for how it's going to build it, and then say, okay, build it.
Nicole Frame's asking, is there a reason that you used Claude over ChatGPT, or is it just personal preference?
I'd never use ChatGPT for writing code. It's terrible. For building web applications, I really like Claude because it has this artifacts, this whole function around building tools. And as a coder, when I build websites, I use Claude as my coding assistant. So Artifacts builds websites and things for you. Claude is built by nerds to write code for you. There's Lovable and there's Replit that are also good, but I find they break a lot. I think they're more for beginner entry level people, but I think they break a lot, whereas Claude will just make something that works really fast. The other one I use is called v0.app. And that's pretty incredible. I would show you if we had time. I'll show you the website anyway. And this is really amazing for building interfaces that look really sensational. I'm out of free messages because I use it all the time, but it builds really beautiful websites that work. And this is made by hardcore nerds. Claude just gives you more free credits. So yeah, both of those tools I prefer just from experience. ChatGPT, yeah, I would never, ever, ever use for code. That people-pleasing thing that ChatGPT does that they've tried to beat out of it but haven't. They're just like, that's a great idea. Here's something that doesn't work. And you're like, that doesn't work. And it's like, you're so right. Yeah, let me make another thing that doesn't work. So yeah, I prefer Claude and v0.app.
Awesome. Cool. And then Claire's got a question. Do you want to ask the question, Claire? Go for it.
Only if time allows.
We do. I think we've got
So
45 minutes because I put like a 10-minute Q&A, but Maddie was just so fast with her demo. I've got loads of times for Q&A.
So talking really fast as well because I'm excited.
all good. I know quite a few marketers who use the Score app tool, and it's one like I was looking to build into my website that I'm about to launch for my own consultancy, because it does a really good job, for those who don't know, of like giving you a customer scenario that you can score and rank criteria on, so you can then give them a response based on a set of criteria. But it's expensive. How easy is it, do you see, to be able to create a tool like that Score app using Claude or v0 app?
Easy, super easy. You just need it. First, you'd get it to make a database. I'm going to talk in data nerd to you. First, you'd get it to make a database that ranks the scenarios and gives them all a number or whatever the situation is. Then you just get it to build a tool where the user inputs the scenario and it gives the number. You could do it in minutes. That's essentially what my AI calculator is. So I made a huge database of all of I got AI to make a huge database of all of the emissions for each model. And then the user just puts in this and it matches it against that database. So I'll show you down here in the nerdy bit. This is all of the carbon emissions we worked out for every model. Not that interesting, but yeah, this was just a database we built, and then all the tool does is match your data against that database. So it sounds like essentially what you're saying is something quite similar. You've got a ranking system on different metrics. You just need AI to build the database in a way that it will understand to then reference those metrics for the user. Yeah, I'd give it a go. Give it a go on Lovable, and then give it a go on Claude and see which one's better.
Thank you. That's super helpful. I can see that being helpful for a few of us too. Like if you're getting down the path even where, you know, companies like Scope, if you're putting in a couple of criteria where you've got customers looking for refrigeration tools, getting them to do some of that self-service a little bit online.
Yeah, there's even like, so for every client I work with, I do them a report at the end because they never really know what impacts you've made unless you really tell them. And that report takes ages. I do it in Photoshop, change the text on every page. I could just make this as a page of my website that says, this is my brief notes from my customers, put it into this template I've already built and make it beautiful. And that would save me as a marketer like 8 hours. You know, like the report, the final report is a huge piece of work that's the most important piece, telling them what you've done. That could be a 10-minute job. I should build that. There's lots of things we can do just an hour like that could just be for you. It could be a private web page that isn't public to the internet, but you just use it for your own reports. That's something that would be a really great idea for marketers.
Thank you very much.
I just love all of the use cases for like these sorts of tools, like because they're so quick and easy to create like 5 minutes worth, then you can kind of make meetings more interactive with them, like really custom built and you know what I mean, have people interact with them, like promotions that you run online on websites or internal things. Just it's just so cool, like to be able to create these tools yourself. Um,
And it's fun. Like if you get into finding it fun, if you build up a bit of confidence from doing it once or twice, then I know some people that are sort of hooked on it. Like I need to tell them to stop making products and start selling products because it's really easy now. That's why the marketing piece is so important. Like don't just make it, get it indexed on Google, get it on LinkedIn, get it on Facebook, get it out there so that people actually find it because the building can actually be kind of all absorbing, but it only matters if people actually find it. And if you're basing your income on it, then it only matters if people actually pay for it.
yeah, awesome. Okay, so we're in our Q&A section of our session today. Does anyone have any other questions? And I'm happy for any of these questions to be AI related in any way, shape, or form, or marketing. Just a good use of time if anyone has any questions or anything that they've been working on or would love to create but wouldn't know how to start or know what right tool to use. It's a good time to ask now.
I would be thinking about what piece of the process do you enjoy the least? And what piece of the process takes the most time, even if you do enjoy it? What takes the most time and what do you enjoy the least? And how would a tool work for that?
Great, because I have an example here. So in the last week, I've been really quick at creating some reference guides because I know exactly what I want to say and I get them formatted and typed up and looking great on a Google Doc. And then I'm like, great, I'll put them straight into Canva. I know what they look and feel in the template. So Maddie, how do I get, and I tried to create a custom GPT, but couldn't quite get it right. What would your advice be to be able to generate instant design-led guides from Word documents with everything in terms of template ready? Because I tried it on Canva and I can't do it. But how do I get Word automatically populated into a design formatted for me in an instant? And this is a question open to anyone because there must be a way, but I've struggled to do it myself.
Simple way would be to make a form that you copy and paste the text into, like intro, blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
And then get the form to run a function that puts it into the design. Another way would be to put it into a spreadsheet. And instead of writing it in Word, write it in a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And then it can pull those fields. You could even use Airtable and Zapier. You could do it old school, but Agentic AI can probably do that for you.
Or I could,
But it's about telling it.
Yeah,
it needs to know which bits go where.
Yeah, no, I get it now. So I know that I would put in Canva, like in the way I used to batch do like Instagram posts, and I'd upload a CSV file and everything's categorized. And so I've already got that in my template. Okay, yeah, I wasn't thinking properly. Right, upload from an Excel spreadsheet. Fantastic, thank you.
Thinking like a nerd. And that'll be within 3 months, that I'm sure that'll be solved and that'll be easier. But yeah, think like a nerd for now.
Oh, thanks.
Is anyone terrified? Does this freak anyone out, this level of speed? And I don't know, like potential.
But how do you stay on top of what to dive into, like tools and that sort of thing?
I think that's a huge problem for if you're not feeling, if you're not feeling on top of it, if you're feeling under it or behind it, then there's just 100 million things. And there's geniuses like Pip who are like running ahead in agentic AI. And it's like, what? Is that something? Da, 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 da. I focus on my niche. So my niche is not people who are experts. It's people who need help. And usually the help they need is like rewrite my web page. It's very low. So I focus on what people are actually, what my customers are actually asking for. And usually they're not asking for much. And there's ways I can speed that up with pretty basic AI. Then there's the things they don't know to ask for, like around data, but I know because of my expertise, and I try and that's my second focus, is ways I can make tricky stuff simple for my customers. But ultimately, as a developer, I work with the confidence that most of these tools will be really easy in the next 3 to 6 months. If it feels really hard right now, it might be easy kind of soon. And if you're not building it, someone else will. And if someone else isn't building it, like you could. So if it's intimidating, the product just probably isn't ready yet. Because if a product is ready for you, then it's easy for you to use. So yeah, I have the privilege of coding knowledge, which I've worked at for years and years and years, and is now pretty much redundant. No, it's still really useful, but you don't need that. I know a lot of people are freaking out thinking, how do I use these tools if I'm not a developer? But the whole point is the tool should be easy enough for a non-developer to use. So yeah, I think there's heaps of kind of Y Combinator startups that are trying to take your money for tools that aren't ready yet, and be wary of that and use free trials and don't commit until it actually works for you. But because it's fun for me, because I'm playing with building a new tool and then figuring out how to make a video to promote it. I kind of do it in the evenings after my daughter's in bed while the TV's on in the background. Like it's a play space for me, because I truly believe that we're in an era where we can build the tools that take down the tech giants that are not ethical, that are like influencing our politics and having too much influence on our lives that we haven't consented to. I think this is a time when someone like us could build the tool that is so amazing, that is so inspiring, that people, like, you could build your Facebook alternative that's genuinely privacy first, or a messaging app that like actually just tells messages and doesn't sell your data to AI. You could build that. You could build that and love it today and start marketing it tomorrow. I would sign up because it's a great idea. So I feel so excited by the potential that I'm always just playing in the space. And that means I end up playing with video generators just to see if they're good enough yet. And I end up playing with image generation, and I end up making posts, and it's fun for me. So if there's a way if it feels like you need to keep up, my advice would be find a way of making it fun for you. And even if that's like making a dog washing app, something that has nothing to do with your business, that isn't going to make you money, but is just kind of fun, then do that. Yeah, make it fun.
And I think to add to that, I think starting off with one tool and kind of mastering it, whether it's a Claude or a ChatGPT, and just getting more and more comfortable with it helps to build confidence for you to then go, right, okay, I figured that out. I'm comfortable with it. Let's find a new tool. And then the more you get comfortable with prompting and understanding what inputs get what results, then when it comes to then jumping onto a Lovable, you kind of a step ahead already, going, okay, if I prompt this way, it's likely to generate this type of response. If I input this much context, it's likely to get me a better response. So yeah, I think it's like mastering one tool and then kind of getting the confidence, going to the next tool and so forth. And it's all about playing around and learning by doing is I think what really helps you on this journey. So don't get massively bamboozled, because there is just so much out there. Like even I'm like, ugh, new tool this week, another new tool this week. God, my training stuff's going to be old in 3 weeks. You know what I mean? But it is about getting the kind of, your AI assistant working for you, kind of like personalized, customized, getting the basic projects sorted, finding any custom GPTs that work hard for you, getting those basics right can really stand you a good stead for then going, okay, I think I'm ready now to build something like what Maddy's just showed us, or maybe build something else. Yeah, it's all part of a journey. Like, it doesn't happen overnight, and I think, if anything, this program is exposing you to a lot of different things, but I think it's really there to kind of get your curiosity going and at least awareness of what's out there for you to go, actually, I think I'm going to double down on this area and really figure out how to make it work hard for me, and the tasks that I have. And I think once you start using an AI assistant to the, in a way that works hard for you, then it's around, okay, I think I'm ready to start using AI in a more agentic way and start building up a workflow and getting tasks automated. So it's step by step. And this is just a sort of a wealth of information and knowledge for you to be aware of what's out there to start to navigate it in a way that works for you. Yeah. So,
And the more you play with it, the more familiar you get, and you start kind of thinking that. So I started using ChatGPT to plan my meals for the week. I was like, I want this budget. I don't want to eat mince. I want this kind of range of foods, and it has to be toddler friendly. And it would come up with 3 meals a week and give me a shopping list that I'd chuck into a click and collect. It would be boom, boom, boom. And suddenly cooking wasn't the pain, this enormous pain in my life that it normally is. So once you start being like, oh, maybe I could solve that problem with this tool. And I know, Philippa, you've done some cool stuff around parenting, around your toddler. So yeah, once you start getting creative in your spare time around like, oh, maybe it could solve that for me. And that's when you're kind of in the sweet spot of using it in ways that no one else is using it and starting to see the potential.
yeah. And I think hearing how everyone's using it, right? And I think this is probably what we can probably do after the session or in the next couple of days, share all of the use cases that we're currently using an AI assistant like such as Claude or GPT for. Because then it's like, oh, I could use it for that. Great, I can use it for that. Or maybe I could use it for this. So it just sparks those ideas and gets you thinking around how you can really leverage it and use it. Okay, 1 minute to go until close. So I'm going to thank Maddy so much for doing that demo. And it was really insightful, and it's an amazing tool that you've created too. So thank you, Maddy.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.